Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Man, there's some fights tonight on UFC, but nevertheless, I can't stay away from you guys. I can't stay away. There's so many articles that need to be discussed that I can't believe, and it's not like BS articles. They're important articles, and I feel like not. I feel I know that once they come, they go. It's not like pump and dump. It's just gone. You don't see it anymore. Man, let's see on this one. This one is about China, and they're serious about it. So this is an article from BBC News from June 11th today, 2022 still. And this is the title. China warns Taiwan independence would trigger war. That's exactly what those guys were waiting for so long. They wanted to make sure, what do we need to do for China to start a war? It was the whole purpose. It was the same with Russia. Russia, what do we need to do in order for you to start a war? And Russia said many times, guys, you need to try to expand NATO in Ukraine closer to our border. We'll try to supply them with weapons and support the Nazification of their country. This is all you need to do. And the other guy said, okay, thank you very much. What was so hard? Let's go through with it. And we are in Ukraine. So I think the same thing is here in a BBC article. China, what do we need to do to get you in a war? But as a proxy, not us facing you, like people with balls and you know what I mean? No, through little weasels, through the back door. Like you bend over, we come through the back door. The same here. What do we need? To have someone else fight our war, destroy you if we can, and we stay outside. No. We're not involved in this one. We didn't declare war on you. Don't consider us as your enemy. We're just supporting what's right. When you hear, politicians saying, "Do do the right thing," tell that to a pedophile. Hey, pedophile, do the right thing. What do you think the pedophile is thinking? His right thing is. The same here. Do the right thing. I would like to know exactly what you mean, sir. Can you get into the details? Yeah, the right thing. What's right, man? What's right? What do you mean? Corner such weasels. The same here. The Westerns are going to use another proxy to try to drain the other country of energy, lives, ammunition, destruction, and all that, like it's happening in Russia. So let's see what's going on. What are the Chinese willing to do? They already said, if you guys try to say we're independent, which the other guy's going to say, hey, you're independent. Say you're independent. Nothing will happen. Zelensky, nothing will happen. Just say it. The same. Hey, Taiwan, nothing will happen. Just say it. We declare independence. Boom. Boom. Hey, what happened? It's okay. We'll support you. We're going to do the right thing. It's like a comedy with casualties, unfortunately. China has warned the U.S. that why did they warn the U.S. and not, for instance, I don't know, Mozambique? Why did they say, hey, U.S.? Why not, hey, Mozambique? Why do they warn the U.S.? Because the U.S. deals the cards and say, hey, you take this, you take this. No, let me take that back. And we'll see, what can I get here? I take this. I take this. Okay, this is my hand. It was randomly dealt, guys. Oh my God. China has warned the U.S. that any attempts to make Taiwan independent from China will trigger military action by Beijing forces. And the Americans are like, man, we got him. Give me five. Give me five. Yeah, man, we did it. They're playing with other people's lives and destinies, destructions. What do you mean? They don't really, remember Madeleine Albright, the former U.S. Secretary of State. When they imposed sanctions on Iraq, it was estimated that about 500,000 children, Iraqis, died of starvation because of the sanctions imposed. It's on camera, on video, 60 minutes program, when the lady over there, the woman, not a lady, you need to earn to be a lady, a woman, She asks this Madeleine Albright, who, by the way, she was Jewish. I don't know how. She was. A coincidence. Hey, Madeleine, do you know that these sanctions, the result of this were about 500,000 Iraqi children dead? Do you think, you know, is worth paying that price? And he said, yeah, I think it's worth paying. The price is worth paying the price. So that means it's okay if 500,000 Iraqi children died. They're just Iraqis, right? So yeah, the same here. Oh, well, I'm gonna be some Ukrainians dead. Gonna be some Taiwanese and Chinese dead, and some Russians. But who cares? There's not any of ours, and I'm not talking about Americans. No, no, no. Americans will be also used, as they always were, American lives, by the same people. So, China has warned the U.S. that any attempts to make Taiwan independent from China will trigger a military action by Beijing's forces. I think not. I hope not against Taiwan, though. But even though, I live in America, I love Americans. I like this country. I think it's the greatest experiment that ever been, except from one that's already dead. But nevertheless, it's still, Declaration of Independence, its constitutions are the fantastic documents. Before I came here and I studied them deeper, being in Romania, I was like, whatever, man, No, they are. They are. If they are really lived up to. Not what they try to change now things. So, if Beijing would start a war, if they bombard, Taiwan and that's a misguided. Unfortunately, they have to hit people who are really responsible with that. People who, hey, nothing will happen to you. Just say it. You're independent. Those guys. And those guys are, unfortunately, with American names, American genes, if you want to call them, nationality, but behind them, there's some other ones. Those need to be discussed. Those need to be talked to, if you know what I mean. Chinese Defense Minister Wei Fengye met with U.S. counterpart Lloyd Austin on the sidelines of the Asian Security Summit in Singapore. And Mr. Austin later called Chinese military activity provocative, destabilizing. Again, you are across the Pacific Ocean. These guys are like this close to Taiwan. China, East China Sea, remember it's next to China, not West US Sea. And these guys call them provocative. Anyway, he said there were record numbers of Chinese aircraft flying near the island on a near daily basis, which, I'm quoting, undermine peace and stability in the region. Whose region? Whose region? Is it China region? Is it your region? Okay, so let's go with that. China views self-ruled Taiwan as an integral part of China's territory, a stance that prompted Mr. Wei to condemn U.S. arms sales to Taiwan. A spokesman, oh my God, spokesman, who's this? BBC News, spokesman, maybe he's a spokesperson. Be careful, choose your words carefully, wisely. So, splitting, okay. Let's see. China win. Okay, he said that they will recommend numbers of Chinese aircraft flying near the island on the near daily basis, which undermines peace and stability in the region. China views blah, 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 blah. A spokesman quoted him as saying, and I'm quoting, if anyone dares to split Taiwan from China, the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, will have no choice but fight at any cost and crush any attempt of Taiwan's independence and safeguard national sovereignty and territorial integrity. That's it. Mr. Austin said the U.S. was committed to maintaining the status quo, recognizing Beijing as the sole government of China and opposing Taiwan independence. Good choice. It was the first meeting of the U.S. and Chinese defense chiefs, and then lasted near an hour at the Shangri-La Dialogue Summit, Security Summit. All right, well, let's see what they're going to do. We're going to do, the incident involved blah, 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 blah. So, who recognizes Taiwan? Only a few countries recognize Taiwan. Most recognize the Chinese government in Beijing instead. The U.S. has no official ties with Taiwan, but does have a law which requires it to provide the island with the means of defending itself. Well, so if we hear that China will do anything militarily against Taiwan, we know why. Because there's some other people who will poison the ear of certain leaders in Taiwan to do it, even though they were warned. They were warned. Now I don't know exactly, and I don't want to talk about it, but I think it's like people try to instigate certain things over there. And those people, we know their names, we know their location, we know their nationalities, we know all that. The problem is this is a very serious situation. Very serious situation. Everybody went for a walk. Now. All right, nevertheless, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Now they know.